As winter vacation begins, students excitedly rush out of school shouting, "It's the winter vacation!" and laughing, "Ha ha ha." One boy, standing apart, mutters, "Chich, why are they so lively?" He cynically adds, "Anyway, I'm sure you'll be waiting for the academy's cram instead of school tomorrow." Sighing, he reflects, "For me, who is just starting life, this world, it's so boring." On his way home, his phone rings with a mysterious number. He answers, "Hello? Who's to—" The caller says, "Ah, I'm a delivery man. Are you at home right now?" The boy responds, "Then just leave it in front of the house." But the delivery man insists, "Sir, you need to personally receive this." Confused, the boy thinks, "But what did I order?" Reluctantly, he replies, "Then could you wait for a while? I'm coming home right now." Arriving, he sees the delivery man holding a package with a peculiar emblem. Surprised, he gasps. As the delivery man approaches, he says, "Ah, so you are a student. May I see your student ID?" But before he can finish, the boy dashes off, leaving the delivery man stunned. Huh? The boy hurriedly escapes with the mysterious package into the house, leaving the delivery man bewildered, who mutters, "It's as if everyone becomes invisible when they see that game company logo." The boy slams the door shut and opens the package. "Oh, this!" he exclaims, discovering a sleek VR headset and wristbands inside. He follows the instructions and begins putting on the gear. Activating the device, a voice says, "Analyzing the user's biological signals. Please do not move." Startled but intrigued, the boy complies. Suddenly, the voice announces, "Thank you. Also, Lee Yushin, congratulations on becoming the real online VIP tester." Before he can react, a mysterious girl appears in his room. Yushin, equally shocked, shouts, "What the? Who are you?" Panicking, he stumbles backward in confusion as the VR world begins to shift. The mysterious girl smirks and says, "Don't tell me you're already surprised. This is just the beginning of what VR can do." With a flick of her finger, the room dissolves into shimmering data, and suddenly, Yushin finds himself in a starry landscape. Another flick, and the surroundings transform into a tropical beach. Yushin stammers in awe, unable to process the scene. The girl elegantly gestures and announces, "We at E-Log Korea present to you an unforgettable gaming experience." She then exclaims, "Ah, I forgot to give you the invitation." An envelope appears in her hand, and with a wave, she sends it flying toward Yushin. He flinches, but manages to catch it. As he unfolds the envelope, holographic data bursts out, displaying a stunning cityscape in midair. Eyes wide with amazement, Yushin whispers, "Is this really happening? I'm not dreaming, am I?" Later at the dinner table, Yushin brags, "I became a private tester for a new game from such an amazing company through a great competition." His father, unimpressed, scoops up some soup and sarcastically asks, "So, were you planning to become a tester for that VR thingamajig? How many days?" Yushin, excited, replies, 15 days and 14 nights. It's winter vacation, and I'll get paid by the hour." But his father cuts him off with a sharp, "Absolutely not." Yushin looks stunned as his father slams his spoon on the table and shouts, "Yushin, are you out of your mind? Next year's is your final year of high school, a beta tester. You're lucky I don't send you off to some boot camp." The tension at the table is palpable as Yushin sits frozen, unsure of how to respond. Yushin's father lectures, "How many times have I told you that studying is all about timing? You only get one chance." His mother looks exasperated, while Yushin glares with determination. Unable to contain his frustration, Yushin shouts, "I got it! If I can't go, I won't! I won't go!" He slams his spoon down, startling his parents. As Yushin storms off, his father yells after him, "You're not done eating! Where are you going? When I was your age, do you know how important food was?" But his mother intervenes, grabbing his father by the collar and scolding him, "You stop it! He said he won't go." Walking away, Yushin internally laments, I can't believe I have to throw away this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But then, a smirk creeps across his face. Of course I won't. Yushin declares confidently, I have a plan. His strategy. On the first day of the test, I'll go to the academy's cram school, or so they'll think. We see him pulling up a map on his phone with a location marked Elog, Korea. He rides a crowded subway, feigning innocence as he speaks into his phone. Yes, teacher, my family will be going on a 15-day, 14-night family trip. Where? That... Spotting an advertisement for Quebec, he blurts out, Quebec? It's Quebec, Canada! His teacher sounds confused, commenting, Oh my, you're going to an even colder place in this winter? How weird! Yushin's face stiffens in awkward guilt. Leaving the subway, Yushin mutters to himself, anyways, the boring academy problem is solved. He sprints through the station grinning and adds, Of course, I need to prepare for the day when my parents call the academy. But shrugging off that concern, he thinks, that's a problem for later. For me, the most important thing right now is right here. Yushin finally arrives at a towering, sleek building made of reflective glass, the corporate headquarters of Elog, Korea. He pauses for a moment, taking in the grandeur of the structure, before confidently stepping through the entrance. Inside, the spacious lobby gleams with a futuristic aesthetic. Large screens dominate the walls, displaying the words, Real Online, in bold, glowing letters. Yushin walks forward, overwhelmed by the cutting-edge atmosphere. Yushin steps into the Elog Korea building, confident this new adventure will break his mundane routine. After receiving his VIP wristband, he enters a grand, futuristic hall filled with players wearing diverse, fantastical gear. Awed by the spectacle, he thinks, Wow, it's so amazing. Suddenly, an ominous distortion in the air catches his attention. A dark, spectral figure with glowing blue energy materializes, a menacing warrior with an eye patch. The room shifts, and Yushin finds himself face to face with the mysterious figure. Panicking, Yushin blurts out, Bug! As the entity lunges toward him. Chaos erupts as Yushin tries to flee. The shadowy warrior pursues him relentlessly, wielding a massive axe. Yushin is thrown into a medieval-style virtual town, dodging blows and struggling to escape. As he closes in, Yushin desperately yells, Stop! Log out! But his cries are ignored until a confident female commands, Pause. A composed woman intervenes, halting the warrior mid-strike. She reassures Yushin with a smirk, explaining, It looks overwhelming, but it's just a low-level enemy. Don't be scared. With a flick of her hand, she disables Arc and turns to Yushin, who stammers in awe, realizing she's the operator. Her calm demeanor and sharp presence leave him both flustered and curious. However, he's thrown off by her unusually masculine voice, causing her to retort playfully, Too manly? Lee Hyung-yu, the general manager of the test, makes a lively entrance. Hyung-yu, with a teasing grin, jokes about Yushin's late arrival, leaving him embarrassed. Amid the laughter from surrounding players, Yushin reflects on the surreal experience but quickly grins, thinking, As expected, it's super fun. As the situation calms down, Hyung-yu reassures Yushin, saying, No need to apologize. Should we proceed with the scheduled demonstrations now? Relieved, Yushin exhales a phew as Hyung-yu cheerfully gestures and leads the way. While walking, Hyung-yu mentions, Due to time constraints, let's skip the office tour and go straight to the test room. That'll be okay, right? Yushin admits, Sure, it's my fault for being late. Hyung-yu enthusiastically agrees, saying, Good, let's go then. The two enter an elevator, chatting amicably. Their conversation is secretly monitored by branch manager Bernadotte. He is speaking on the phone, remarking, Yes, I only trust the client. Now, if only the product to be sold at a high price is properly prepared. He lights his cigar, clearly scheming something. Bernardo humorously asks for forgiveness, and stating that this is just business. Yushin laughs along as they exit into a high-tech hallway. They approach a secure door marked A12 Open, which slides open with a mechanical hiss, revealing an expansive futuristic chamber. Yushin is awestruck, exclaiming, "That's..." as he takes in the sight of the massive test equipment. Hyungyu interrupts, saying, "Before that." He directs Yushin to a room with a sleek, futuristic wearable suit on display. Hyungyu instructs, "Please wait in the main room after changing into the suit. I'll come by after checking the final equipment." Confused but intrigued, Yushin examines the suit and mutters, "Wearable suit?" He begins changing into the outfit, carefully zipping it up, as his curiosity about the upcoming test continues to grow. Yushin finishes putting on the suit and examines himself, looking impressed. He poses confidently and exclaims, Right now? I'm so cool." Feeling excited, he begins swinging his arms and making exaggerated movements, mimicking superhero actions. He dashes across the room, marveling at how flexible and comfortable the suit feels. Suddenly, a bright light floods the chamber, making him shield his eyes. Startled, he mutters, "What? This light?" As his vision adjusts, he lowers his hand and notices a figure approaching from the other side of the room. A woman in a matching futuristic suit. She steps into view, holding a helmet under one arm. Her long blonde hair flows gracefully, and her confident demeanor instantly captivates Yushin. He stares in shock and awe, his cheeks flushing. Is it like last time?" he blurts out nervously, still unsure of what's happening. Confused but curious, Yushin leans closer, the blonde female eagerly asking, "What? What is it?" His excitement peaks as he smells a faint fragrance from her hair and exclaims dramatically, "How was this shampoo fragrance created?" At that moment, Hyungyu's voice interrupts through the comms, laughing. "That's probably because she just washed her hair, right? Our Miss Maria." Embarrassed, Yushin stammers, I see." Maria's expression changes, and she scowls, glaring at him. "Do you mind getting out of my face?" Her tone grows sharper as she warns, "Do you want me to smash your damn nose in?" Panicked, Yushin stumbles backward, waving his hands defensively. "Hi! I'm sorry! No! I'm really sorry!" As he tries to retreat, he trips over one of the testing devices and lands clumsily in a chair. His flustered reaction makes Maria sigh, shaking her head as she watches him. The system begins its initialization process, user verification, revitalization start. Yushin lies nervously on the machine, but his curiosity overtakes his fear. The platform beneath him activates with a low hum. His eyes widen as he feels an unfamiliar sensation coursing through his body. "Ooh, this!" Yushin exclaims with excitement. Maria, standing nearby, glares at him with an annoyed expression. "Manager Hyungyu, what is with this stupid bastard?" Startled, Yushin reacts, Stupid?" looking both confused and offended. The camera cuts to Hyungyu, who cheerfully explains through the comms, "Maria Nim, I'm sorry, but due to a problem with our server, we had no choice but to merge the real online and simulator servers." Maria's eyes widen in shock. "What? Real online? Don't tell me that bastard is a civilian user? Are you guys crazy?" She furiously points toward Yushin while he mutters in disbelief, "Why does she call me a bastard?" Maria continues, seething with frustration. "If the superiors know that you brought a civilian to the simulator training..." Hyungyu, still unfazed, calmly apologizes again. "Again, I apologize. However, because of the last accident, if we don't merge the real online, the simulator won't work either." Yushin, overwhelmed by the explanation, laments, "We should have just begun. Why would you say things I can't understand?" He gets up, noticing a screen with the words "Real Online" displayed. Yushin approaches it, curious. "Where's the manual?" he wonders aloud. Spotting the Game Start button, he exclaims, "Oh? What's this? Why isn't there a simple game manual on the main screen?" Meanwhile, Maria snaps at Hyungyu, clearly agitated. "So, you're telling me that I have to do this with him? I will never..." Before she can finish, Hyungyu cuts in, cheerfully shouting, "Yes, I understand. Then, starting today, Maria Nim cannot access the simulator training. Maria freezes, caught off guard by his sudden enthusiasm. Hyung-yu asks cautiously, "Would it be okay to cancel this?" Hyung-yu, smiling slyly, avoids answering directly, while Maria clicks her tongue in irritation. Tch! She grabs her helmet, clearly reluctant. While putting on the helmet, Maria warns sharply, "This incident, don't you dare try to avoid it. I will make sure that no matter what, you'll be disciplined." Unfazed, Hyung-yu responds with his trademark grin. "Thank you for your generosity, Maria Nim." Maria sighs, preparing herself for what's to come. As she adjusts the helmet, Hyung-yu addresses Yushin. "Also, you'll figure out the controls as you play the game, so please get ready to sync." Yushin hesitates briefly but eventually complies, sitting in his assigned spot. "Ah, okay." Hyung-yu grins, leaning into his screen. "I'll start operating the server." As the system begins its final preparations, operators frantically monitor multiple screens. A voice from one of the operators cuts through the air. "Terra injection!" Another operator shouts, "Checking assimilation rate!" Inside the simulation pods, Yushin and Maria begin to feel the effects of the activation. A red hue envelops their chambers as the process intensifies. Yushin exclaims, "What is this heat?" Hyung-yu's voice, still calm but energetic, reassures him, "Don't worry, the energy produced during the exchange between the program and the body will soon disappear." Another operator calls out in astonishment, "The assimilation rate has exceeded 70%. The numbers on the monitors climb rapidly, 80%, 90%. Yushin and Maria remain still in their pods, eyes closed, their breathing steady despite the escalating tension. Finally, the operator shouts, "The assimilation rate is 100%! It's ready!" Hyung-yu raises his hand dramatically, then yells, "Start!" A countdown appears on the main monitor. 3, 2, 1. The screen flashes 100%, and both Yushin and Maria's consciousnesses appear to sync seamlessly with the system. Their images blur momentarily, as though their bodies are being transported somewhere else. As the system hums down to a steady state, Hyung-yu smirks confidently and says, "Enjoy your trip." A rush of sensations overwhelms Yushin, the cold, heavy rain pounding against his skin, and the vivid, unfamiliar surroundings. Despite his confusion, he recognizes the sensation. It's rain! As he observes his surroundings, Yushin discovers he's clad in detailed armor, complete with a cape, and questions the reality of the simulation. His thoughts race. If that's so, this place is... The perspective shifts to a fortified wall where a soldier frantically reports, "General, the enemy troops have reached the plains." The looming threat sets a dire tone for the battle ahead. The scene leaves Yushin poised to uncover his role in this simulated world. Yushin is overwhelmed as he realizes the simulation has skipped a tutorial and thrust him into battle. The soldiers, addressing him as General, demand orders to counter the approaching enemy. Observing his surroundings, Yushin notices a sea, but an aide points out that it does not align with the terrain. However, the sea turns out to be a massive advancing enemy force. Staring in disbelief, he mutters, "Does that number make sense?" Under pressure, a veteran commander urges Yushin to take command despite the odds. Yushin, flustered and questioning his interactions with NPCs, scrambles to find a familiar interface or console for guidance. The scene crescendos as the enemy's formations advance ominously, shields and spears ready. Yushin is left frozen, faced with imminent battle. Under immense pressure, Yushin hesitates, frantically lamenting the lack of guidance as the soldiers around him shout for leadership. Resolving to act, the veteran commander instructs the troops to get into formation and prepare for battle. Archers line the walls, ready to rain arrows on the advancing enemy. The veteran commander rallies the soldiers with a passionate battle cry, motivating them to fight to their last breath. The archers release their first volley, and arrows pierce the front lines of the enemy forces, causing chaos. However, the enemy, undeterred, continues their relentless advance, with Yushin staring in growing dread. The rain continues to pour, masking the mounting tension as the clash between forces becomes inevitable. The enemy forces retaliate with their own archers, launching a terrifying wave of arrows that darken the sky. The whistling projectiles approach rapidly, creating a wall of death descending upon the defenders. The veteran commander shouts, "Knights, put up your shields!" The soldiers on the walls quickly form a shield wall, bracing themselves for impact. Arrows rain down, striking shields and walls with deafening force. Some soldiers falter, crying out in pain as the relentless onslaught pierces through weak spots in the defenses. The enemy advances methodically, their movements precise and coordinated. Siege ladders are brought forward, carried by an overwhelming number of attackers. Among them, a particularly agile attacker leaps directly toward the defenders, ascending like a bolt of lightning. The castle's soldiers attempt to hold the line, throwing boulders and pushing ladders away to deter the invaders. A massive stone is hurled down, crushing one of the climbing attackers with a sickening impact. The veteran commander shouts, "Don't let them get in, stop them!" Chaos erupts on the walls. The defenders use bows and rocks to fend off the invaders, who are equally fierce and skilled. One enemy soldier expertly dodges an incoming strike, flips onto the wall, and strikes down a defending knight with a swift blow. Blood splatters across the battlements, and the screams of the fallen echo in the air. Among the chaos, Yushin observes the scene with a growing sense of unease. The bloodshed, the pain, the screams. It all feels too real. As his eyes widen in horror, a thought pierces his mind. Is this really just a game? The question burns in his mind, echoed in the stormy sky. Is this real online? We're shown the castle surrounded by a stormy sky and the relentless enemy forces pressing forward. The enemy archers unleash an arrow, its precision overwhelming. Yushin, amid the chaos, realizes the terrifying reality of his situation. The world of this game that I am in right now. His confusion deepens as he questions the boundary between game and reality. The arrow attack wounds him. Pain floods his senses, unlike anything he thought possible in a game. It hurts. This is just a game. Why does it hurt? Panic sets in as he grapples with the agony and lack of control, unable to find any escape mechanism or interface. Protected by his allies, he struggles to understand. This must be a game error. I can't even find the control window. Lightning strikes, illuminating his surroundings. Despair overtakes him as the truth looms closer. Seriously, am I trapped in a place like this? The chaos unfolding as Yushin's side struggles to maintain order. A commanding officer yells for the soldiers to return to formation. After the enemy archers halts their attack, Yushin is paralyzed with fear, unable to act. And veteran commander berates him, demanding, "How long are you going to be like this? Why are you not giving orders?" Desperate, Yushin panics and tries to log out, shouting, "Please let me log out." He realizes he's trapped, helplessly lamenting, "I don't want to spend another minute in this game." Meanwhile, a new threat emerges. Among the massive enemy forces, a figure board declares, "In the honor of my old friendship with your father, I will go to you myself, Yushin." This ominous warrior enters the battlefield, unleashing a devastating whirlwind of energy, shattering soldiers, walls, and defenses in his path. The sheer power terrifies both sides as destruction sweeps across the battlefield. Yushin watches in terror as the battle escalates, fully immersed in a nightmare he cannot escape. The devastating whirlwind unleashed by the enemy warrior cuts through the battlefield, creating chaos and destruction. Soldiers are thrown into the air, walls are obliterated, and the defenses crumble under the sheer force. Yushin and the veteran commander look on in horror as the onslaught continues. Amid the wreckage, the massive enemy figure emerges, now clearly visible. Towering with a menacing presence, he stands atop the battlefield, silhouetted by the ominous moon. Soldiers are frozen in fear, their weapons trembling as they behold the figure. Yushin gasps, his eyes widening in recognition. "That silhouette! I'm sure I've seen it before." His memory struggles to connect the dots as terror and confusion consume him. hinting at a deeper connection to the powerful enemy. Yushin's trembling voice pierces through the chaos. That's right! I remember now! That's Bracken! Bracken, the monstrous figure towering over the battlefield, smirks menacingly as the carnage continues. Soldiers scream in terror, scrambling to retreat. "Run!" cries one soldier, but the veteran commander, desperate to maintain control, yells back, "Hold your places! If we fall back, we will be wiped out!" The colossal warrior Bracken raises his massive battle axe, his presence suffocating. He strikes with an attack so powerful it splits the battlefield. The ground shatters, soldiers are obliterated, and the few survivors are left stunned. Rubble and shattered weapons rain down as Bracken laughs in delight at the destruction. Amid the rubble and lifeless bodies, Li Yushin stands frozen. Bracken's voice booms mockingly. "What are you doing, Li Yushin? Are you just gonna hide behind this pile of slaughtered bodies? Your father would have scorched the earth beneath him?" Bracken's wicked grin and sharp laughter echo through the battlefield. How pathetic! Li Yushin's grip trembles as his thoughts race. He whispers to himself, "If I die like this, will I finally end this game?" Bracken taunts Li Yushin, sneering, "Why don't you grab that sword and stand up?" Yushin, stunned, realizes he's still alive. He notices a longsword nearby, which Bracken mockingly allows him to wield, declaring it a disgrace to kill someone unarmed. With simmering anger, Yushin rises, questioning Bracken's knowledge of his father. "If you're a villain in this game," Yushin growls, gripping the sword tightly, "then just kill me." His rage crescendos, unleashing an uncharacteristic determination. He vows to shut Bracken's mocking mouth, drawing power from his pent-up emotions. Yushin's inner thoughts race. What's this? An unbearable burst of anger? For the first time, I'm not scared since I came here. He now faces Bracken head-on, recognizing the sheer destructive force of his opponent, who's annihilated the camp with ease. He's a monster! Despite his fear, Yushin stands firm, ready to fight. Bracken grins as he charges at Li Yushin, thrilled by Yushin's defiance and the desperation on his face. Yushin steels himself, shouting, "Since it has come to this, I'll fight you as you want." However, as Bracken's overwhelming strength clashes with Yushin's shaky resolve, Yushin fumbles with the heavy sword, struggling to wield it effectively. His inexperience and panic lead to a critical mistake. He misses his footing. Yushin is killed helplessly. Bracken mocks him, calling him a failure who does not live up to his father's name. Back in an observation room, Hyungyu smirks while watching Yushin's failure on a monitor, proclaiming coldly, "It's over." Yushin lies unconscious, his defeat recorded and monitored by the operators. Hyungyu and the operators analyze Yushin's simulation performance, revealing his assimilation rate reached 100%. They mockingly remark on the intense, death-like pain he likely experienced. As the system resets, they gleefully prepare to upload the footage to their superiors, referring to the simulation as hell. Yushin wakes up in what appears to be reality. His mother calls him to eat his favorite soybean paste stew, while his father scolds him for staying up playing games. Yushin, confused as he begins to eat, marvels at the familiar sights and smells of his home, questioning if he truly returned to his daily life. Suddenly, water begins leaking from above, alarming everyone. Yushin freezes, staring at the ceiling, realizing something is terribly wrong. Outside, ominous rain pours, setting an unsettling tone as he senses that his ordeal might not be over. Yushin panics as the distorted reality around him begins to unravel. He realizes that his return home was nothing more than an illusion, as he finds himself once again clad in armor and thrown into chaos. The horrifying realization that he's been dragged back into the simulation shocks him, but he struggles to regain his composure. Amid the chaos, soldiers scream as they're attacked, and Yushin's resolve wavers, lamenting the relentless cycle of violence in this hell-like reality. He feels powerless, overwhelmed by despair, and desperately shouts that he cannot go on. Suddenly, an urgent cry from a female soldier warns of a looming threat above. Yushin looks up to see a volley of arrows descending rapidly, shrouded in deadly energy. His instincts kick in as he watches the arrows slash through the air. The fight is far from over. The female soldier's sword slashes through the air with deadly precision, striking the arrows away from Yushin. One of the arrows racing down strikes her on the helmet and causes it to fall off. As the dust and water droplets settle, a figure emerges, their presence commanding and unyielding. Long, flowing purple hair and piercing eyes meet Yushin's terrified gaze. She stands with a regal, imposing demeanor, her armor gleaming under the dim, stormy skies. Yushin freezes, his mind racing as he tries to comprehend who this is.